Right now, somewhere in the world, a person is sitting completely alone. And for the first time in human history, that's normal. But for almost 300,000 years, being alone was one of the most dangerous situations a human could be in. Your ancestors feared isolation the same way they feared starvation, disease, or predators. So, why does modern life push us toward it? And what happens to the human brain when it gets something it was never designed to handle? To answer that, we need to go back to a world before cities, before nations, and before the idea of living alone even existed. For most of human history, humans lived in small tribes, not hundreds of people, usually between 30 and 150. Everyone knew everyone. Everyone depended on everyone. If someone was injured, the group helped them survive. If someone found food, the group ate. If danger appeared, the group responded together. Alone, a human is not particularly impressive. We are slower than most predators. We don't have claws, we don't have fangs, we can't fly, we can't outrun a horse. But humans possess one ability that changed everything: cooperation. Anthropologists studying hunter-gatherer societies have repeatedly found that survival depended less on individual strength and more on social connection. A skilled hunter could fail for days, but if the tribe succeeded, he still ate. A sick child could survive because dozens of people helped care for it. The group functioned like a single organism, and because of that, being separated from the group was often a death sentence. In many traditional societies, exile was considered worse than physical punishment, not because it felt bad, because it was often fatal. Your brain remembers that world, not consciously, but biologically. And that brings us to something strange. Loneliness feels emotional, but your brain treats it as a survival problem. In 2003, neuroscientist Naomi Eisenberger conducted an experiment that became famous in psychology. Participants played a simple virtual ball tossing game. At first, other players included them. Then suddenly, they were ignored, excluded, left out. Nothing physical happened. Nobody touched them, nobody threatened them, nobody harmed them. Yet, brain scans revealed activity in regions associated with physical pain. The same systems involved when your body is injured were responding to social rejection. Why? Because for most of human history, social exclusion and physical danger were closely connected. If your tribe rejected you 50,000 years ago, your chances of survival dropped dramatically. Evolution solved this problem by creating a warning system. Physical pain protects the body. Social pain protects your connection to the group. Different experiences, similar purpose. And that's why loneliness hurts. Not metaphorically, literally. Your brain is sounding an alarm. But here's what's fascinating. The alarm evolved in a world that no longer exists. For hundreds of thousands of years, humans spent almost every moment surrounded by other people. They hunted together, cooked together, slept near one another, raised children collectively. Even at night, people gathered around fires. Anthropologist Polly Wiesner found that nighttime conversations among hunter-gatherer groups were dominated by stories, myths, jokes, and social bonding. The campfire wasn't just entertainment, it was social glue. It reminded people that they belonged, that they were part of something larger than themselves. Now compare that to today. For the first time in human history, millions of people live alone, work alone, eat alone, travel alone, and spend hours interacting with screens instead of faces. From a technological perspective, this is extraordinary. From an evolutionary perspective, it is completely unprecedented. Your brain evolved expecting constant social contact. Instead, it often receives notifications. And those are not the same thing. Researchers have consistently found that loneliness is associated with increased stress, poorer sleep, higher rates of depression, and worse physical health outcomes. What's remarkable is that the brain responds to perceived isolation even when other people are technically available. You can be surrounded by thousands of people in a city and still feel profoundly alone. Because loneliness is not the absence of humans, it's the absence of meaningful connection. And this is where modern life creates a strange contradiction. We are more connected than any generation in history. Yet many people report feeling more isolated than ever before. We can communicate instantly across continents. We can speak to hundreds of people online. We can see what strangers are doing every hour of every day and still feel disconnected. Why? Because the human brain didn't evolve to manage thousands of relationships. It evolved for tribes, small groups, repeated interactions, shared experiences, trust built over years. The systems that once tracked 30 or 40 meaningful relationships are now being asked to process hundreds of weak connections. And often they struggle. But loneliness isn't just about suffering, it also reveals something important about what humans actually are. Modern culture often celebrates independence, self-sufficiency, doing everything yourself, needing nobody. But history suggests a different story. The people who survived weren't the most independent, they were the most cooperative. Civilizations weren't built by isolated individuals, they were built by networks, families, communities, groups of people working together toward common goals. Even the achievements we admire most are rarely individual accomplishments. Every inventor relied on knowledge